What up, everybody, it's your boy tonight, back with another video, guys. You know it. Anyways, guys, also it's Goosebumps Gen, by the way. But for this video, I'm doing Joshua Saki. Today, I'm doing a movie review, on one of my favorite, let me put it this way, favorite horror movies. Classic, trilogy, sequels, whatever you want to call it. Trilogy, something. I'm doing up to its fifth movie for this series. I'm doing up to the fifth movie of the series, and I'm done. Because I do like the other two films, especially the third film, the sixth, seventh film, but I just want to do the first five. So today I'm reviewing Child's Play 1988, the movie that we got introduced to Chucky, or Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler. Great film, amazing 1988 classic slasher film. One of my favorite trilogies ever. So let's get into this review. So the story begins with it takes place beginning at, like, I guess, I don't know the day of the week or whatever it was, but it's in the middle of the night, and a criminal is being chased by a cop, a detective, and he's being chased all throughout Chicago and the streets, and I guess the south side of Chicago, and he is chased, gets shot at, he shoots back, he gets shot at, he tries to make it to his partner's van, and his partner leaves without him, and he's pissed, and he swears he's going to kill his partner. And then he finally makes it to a toy store where he gets shot three times in the chest, I believe, or in the stomach, or wherever he gets shot. I forgot where he gets shot. But he gets shot. And this guy's a serial killer named Charles Lee Ray. And he ends up deciding he vows that he's going to kill the detective and his partner. I forgot the partner's name is. For killing him, basically being possibly a lot causing him to die. So what does he do before he dies? He takes this doll. He's in the toy store out. This huge doll is going to become like the huge craze called the Good Guy dolls, and he uses black magic, voodoo magic, to transfer his soul inside the doll. So when he dies, his body basically dies, but his soul will be in the doll. So, skip ahead to I guess, our main protagonist, Andy, and his mom. Andy is a 6-year-old boy who lives with his mom in I guess, some part of Chicago, in an apartment. Her mom works at a jewelry store in the mall, I guess you could say, as you want to call it, Bloomingdale's Mall, or something like that, or Bloomingdale's, and they never really explain what happened to the dad. I'm guessing he died of cancer or some disease or something, or some accident. They never really explain. All they explain is that they kind of explain that he died, obviously, in one scene. I'll explain it to you after. What happened is, so Andy is like mom's kind of live kind of poor because she has one job, she's a single mother, and And the one thing Andy wants for his birthday is a Good Guy doll. He got clothes and a toy set for the Good Guy doll, but he doesn't have the Good Guy doll himself for the toy set. So skip ahead to work, where she has to work. Okay, the mother and her best friend who works with her in her same department. Since she works in jewelry and her friend works in shoes, says that there's a guy selling toys, and there's the Good Guy doll that she wants. He has one, and he's selling for it. Selling it to people outside of the Bloomingdale's back of the parking lot, or back outside, or whatever. So she goes outside, and with her friend, and they start haggling. And this is what I remember. I laughed at this scene recently when I already watched the show to do a review, because that's just Chicago people. We try to haggle for stuff. It's not even funny. We actually do that shit. Like I've haggled before. I'm like, yo, you want $40 for this? I'll give you 20. No. You ain't gonna play me like that. I want 50. No. 40. Fine, 40 to deal. You know. Some of that. So it's like, but it's this is what you're doing. It's a homeless guy too, and she gives him. So she gives him, I think, $40. It was the deal, $40, and she gets the doll. It's the same doll that serial killer Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, put his soul into. So skip ahead. She gives him her son Andy the doll, but she cannot stay at work or stay at home because she has to take over the night shift because one of the people that works with her, had to call it out. So that I don't know. And so the best friend who works in shoes, decides that she's gonna babysit Andy for the night. So they're watching TV. Andy says to go to bed. She tells Andy to go to bed. He goes to bed, and Andy says that Chucky wants to watch the television. So obviously she's not gonna believe him because well, Chucky wants this, Chucky wants that. Well, Chucky's a doll and he's not real, obviously. So she goes into the other room and she goes back into the other room after and he starts eating food. That's what he does, okay? And the mom's like, yo, like the babysitter's like, yo, this is not cool, bro. Like, like she starts to, get paranoid because she starts seeing things on the corner of her eye, like a small thing running, and she goes into the room and there's a TV on watching the television, and only thing in the room is the doll. She turns off the television, and then finally there's an accident in the room where I guess there's an accident and Chucky didn't do it, or Charlie or Andy. She tells Andy and he said, I didn't do anything, and Andy's like, no, I don't believe you. And finally, she's cleaning up in an accident or something that happened in the kitchen. She turns away, but she gets startled at first by something, and when she turns back, someone hits her over the head. Chucky, obviously, hits her with a toy hammer, making her fall back, fly out the window, and fall to her death, which is 3 stories. So, either 3 or 4. I think it was 4 stories, but whatever. So she dies instantly on impact. Basically, the mom comes home for a work shift, finds this out. The cops think it's the son kind of a little bit, like she did that. He didn't do anything. And the son kind of says he's adamant that he didn't do it. And he says then the son basically says, yo, Mom, when he goes into his room and he sees Chucky there and sees Chucky's feet and there's print, and Andy says this, Chucky did it because he said Aunt something was a real bitch and she deserved what she got. So, and she was mean to him. That's what she said. Then Andy says that Chucky's real name is Charles Lee Ray, and that he was sent by Daddy in heaven to watch over him, and be his friend. So, there you go, key on to the fact that, his dad's is most likely dead. Basically a whole thing of shenanigans where Chucky is basically takes Andy out to do these things where one time he takes Andy out of school, literally goes out of school, tells Andy to leave school, to go hunt for his partner who had escaped justice. He escaped the precinct that he was caught in. And he basically tricks his partner into killing himself. And the way he does that is his partner's in like a rundown house, and Chucky's the doll. Goes in and turns on the oven, the gas in the oven, but leaves the door open and to the oven, and then tricks the guy and the coming in, and the door doesn't open all the way, so it's immediately open. So when he thinks there's a guy intruding in the house, he has a gun out, and he finally kicks on the door and shoots. The entire house blows up. With Chucky had already escaped, and so did Andy, but it was close. and he was close to dying. It gets to the point where no one believes Andy that Chucky's alive, and he's trying to kill him, and he's trying to take away his soul. To the point where finally Andy's mom does believe him, because when she opens up the battery pack, he has no batteries inside, and he's been talking this entire time. You know, hi, I'm Chucky. I'm your friend to the end. Howdy-ho. Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play? But that would only work if he had the batteries, and he doesn't have the batteries in there. So basically, the cop doesn't believe her either and thinks she's crazy until Chucky literally attacks him in his car. By the way, the best attack in a car scene ever, where it basically evolves from choking, I think, at first, to where he gets him off from choking. Then he starts stabbing a knife through the seat, trying to cut him in the, you know, nuts and everything, and kill him that way. Still doesn't work. And all the while, he's basically tearing up the streets of Chicago because he's trying to, you know, evade the knife and shit, and he can't really get his shit to deal with, you know. So that's it. So it finally leads to a huge fight or comes down to where Chucky where he's taught the do-voodoo guy says he has to switch out to his body, because if he doesn't switch out, he's starting to become human and will remain in that body forever. He has to switch out his soul into the soul of the person, or the body of the person he first told his secret to, which is Charles Lee Ray. It's like, you know, Charles Lee Ray is his real name. So he goes to try to go take Andy's soul or body, and Andy ain't having none of it, and comes up to the best line of my entire favorite scene in the original Child's Play. When Chucky is trapped in the fireplace, and Andy says, and Andy is and Chucky says, "But Andy, you're my friend. We're friends to the end, bud." And Andy says, when he lights the match, "This is the end, friend," and then just lets the latch go, and you just hear Chucky scream in agony and pain. And then he comes back twice for a final scare, which is interesting for a slasher movie. Once after he's burned, and then a second time when the guy the totem is not to touch anything, but he touches it anyways. I guess the corner, you could call him. I think that's what he is. And he touches it anyways, and he gets attacked. That's it for this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Definitely go check out part 2 when it comes out for Child's Play 2. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will share my videos on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Stay cool, guys. I'll see you in the next video.